Hi everyone, this is Board Games and Bourbon. I'm Glenn Flaherty, and right now we're going to talk about roll and writes. And today it's going to be Cosmic Run Rapid Fire, which is a roll and write version of a previous game called Cosmic Run. And in it, what you're doing is you're trying to navigate three 2D fields and trying to get your ship through an asteroid field, dodging and ducking and using powers to get to these three planets, trying to score points, and you're trying to blow up your enemy along the way. It's super cool. Let's take a look. Okay everyone, so this is Cosmic Run, and as you can see, it's a pad of paper and some die. And it's not very much, but it really is a fun game that treats the genre in a way you don't see too much, which is it's action-filled and really has good interaction between you and your opponent. Now, you can also play this solo, okay, and it's basically the same experience. Now, the pad of paper here is fairly large, it's about the size of your hand, but you also get black die, which represent asteroids coming in the way that might strike you, or at minimum, complicate your path as you try to navigate upwards towards a planet. And then you're going to roll a bunch of die, and you and your opponent are going to choose die for powers that you need to successfully traverse your field. Now, in the game, there's a number of rounds that go on. You're going to roll the dice once in the early rounds, twice in the middle, 3 in the late rounds. And what that does is that puts the asteroids in your way. So like right here, I rolled an A3, and that is going to put an A3, you kind of use it like a grid, A3, A, come down to 3. This is where an asteroid is going to go right there, okay? But you'll notice in blue and in green, A3 is actually in a different location. All right, I got one there, and then A3 is all the way over here. Okay, now, why does that matter? Well, as you're coming through and you're choosing your power die now, you have to choose die that'll help you navigate and go around these obstacles. So that's where these die are going to come into play. Let's put these over here, okay? So when you roll these die, the die all have different colors, different symbols, and different effects. For instance, this die here, that is orange squares, can only be used for the orange ship, and that will let your ship move 3 units, either up, down, left, or right. It cannot go sideways unless you have a power that lets it go sideways. The die that lets you move the blue ship is a blue triangle. You can move 1 unit. Green lets you move only the green. Now, when you look at these die, there's actually more size of them to let you do super duper things. If I roll this die here, I will move 1 unit of the blue ship, but I can also attack my opponent's blue ship for 1 point. And if you attack and you blow up your opponent's ship, they're going to get -7 points, and it also prevents them from getting all the way to the home planet for a 20 points at the end of the game. Okay? Then what you're going to see is a bunch of die over here that let you do special powers. Let's see what we can do. Okay, some of these are going to let you do change the color of your ship die. That's what this does. This one right here that has a little jump symbol on a ship lets you blow right past an obstacle that's in your way. This one with 2 arrows lets you go diagonally. That's a real winner. And then let's see, there's going to be a die in here. Let's see if I can find it. This is really bad. This lets you roll the die and possibly try to attack your opponents 1 more time. And then this die over here is a missile. And what a missile does is it prevents the asteroid rolls from striking your ship and giving you damage, or it blocks your opponent from attacking your ship. You know, like if I rolled this blue and I wanted to apply that, boom, that'll cancel it. So all of these die are going on, you're moving around trying to do it. Now, you would think getting to the end is the most important thing. But there's more you can do. As you roll, let's say I was rolling and I didn't want to move, I'm going to take this die right here that says, let's see, let's find a technology. Well, there's none on that. Let's take this one. What this is going to do is that'll let me tick off this spot right here. And if I keep ticking off spaces as I go, I'm actually going to end up getting more and more points as the game goes on. And that's really nice. So you have one path to victory here. You have a second path to victory by picking technologies over here. Why is that important? Because let's suppose you're stuck with some bad die rolls. You want to at least get something out of it, and you can do this here. If you're in a real dire straits and you really have nothing you can do, like let's say all your ships have moved, there's nothing you can do, and you're stuck with this orange, and you can't even move your orange. You're like, well, okay, I'm going to save it here. And what that does is it says if you save 2 die, you can then go ahead and get some special powers. If things are even worse than that, you can re-roll a die up to 4 times, and it gives you that. So there's a lot of ways to mitigate your dice rolls, which I really like. Another thing I like about it is that as you're going through the rounds of the game, the increase in the asteroid rolls. The reason that's important is as I fill in all of these areas in the early rounds with 1, they're definitely going to impact and land. But sometimes when you get later in the game, you'll roll, for example, an A3, and then you'll roll an A3 again. So you're like, oh, okay, I don't have to put down that asteroid. Well, that's not going to necessarily be the case because now I have to roll 2. Now I have to roll 3. So as the game goes on, you're pretty much guaranteed that new asteroids are going to come on, but boy, isn't it a sweet surprise when none does. Okay? Now, as I play through it, I felt fully engaged because I'm watching where my ship goes, but I also have to watch where my opponent's ship is going. And if I really felt like they were going to go for it, I was stealing die to just hamper their ability to move. I was trying to throw asteroids in their way. Boy, was I trying to make use of this thing. That was the best, because what you do here is you roll, you pick a column, you roll a number, and you try to make it hit them. The balance overall is pretty good between all the options, and this spatial quality is fantastic. So anyway, okay, that's just a brief summary of how Rapid Fire works. I hope you check it out. Cosmic Run, it is by Dr. Finn's Game, and there you go. Have fun with that, everyone. Talk to you later.